Welcome viewers to another review for Exhaust Notes Australia. Dylan here, and today we have the Lexus GX 550 Sports Luxury. What a mouthful. So, what does Sports Luxury get you in the Lexus GX 550, hey? Let's begin by going from the back to the front. We'll check out boot space, we'll check out passenger rows, and all things infotainment. There is a lot of tech in this car, and I'm going to do my best to at least cover some of it for you. Alrighty guys, let's begin. Viewers, so the boot space, there is a lot of it. So with all three rows up, as this is a 7-seater, you get 291 litres of boot space. With just the third row down, you get 1138 litres, and if you want to throw the third row down or away, stowed as they call it, you should get 2177 litres, I think it is. I'll display it on the screen. So lots of room, lots of configuring to do with how you want to set up the back of this vehicle. So let's start. First of all, there is a button here to open the entire boot lid. But if you want to just throw something in, you can hit this button. There is a little grabber here, and you can just pop things in and out. Alrighty, very handy. I do love the double open option on SUVs. It is very handy indeed. So we hit the button, electronically opens. You also have the option to do that from your key fob. In here you have your roller. As you can see, plenty of room in here. Now there is not much room underneath the floor. You've only got this one little compartment here for your spare wheel tools and breakdown gear. But aside from that, you get this nice little bit of carpet in here, which is handy. Everything's plastic, so you don't have to worry too much about if you scratch it or bump it. There are anchor points all over the place, which is handy. And you can see the other seatbelts here for the third row. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how to erect the third row from the rear of the vehicle, alrighty? So, first of all, we've got to get rid of that roller. Pretty easy. Each end has just a little spring-loaded latch on either side, alrighty? And we move that out of the way. One thing I will say, viewers, is I have not yet found a stowaway compartment for that. You have to leave it at home if you want to operate with the third row. Now it gets nice and easy. It's all electronic. Two buttons on the outside here. Your third row is ready to go. There are headrests. You just pull them up, lock them into place. Happy days. Carpet can stay or go. Not too bad at all. Nice and easy. No hard work. When you want to collapse it, these two here, you pull the lever, they fold down, and then you use the buttons. Nicely done. There is also a 100-watt power point in the back here for other camping requirements. Very good indeed. Alrighty, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how you can also erect the third row from the second row. Alrighty, so from the rear doors you can actually erect the third row of seats. Just keep in mind that's only if the roller is not in place. Alrighty. As we can see here, there are the same buttons as in the boot. on either side of the vehicle, so you can erect the third row from this position if you need to, as long as that roller cover is not in place. Cool. Alrighty guys, so I'm just going to show you how to get into the third row if you don't have the parcel tray cover in the back. From this position, it's actually really easy and handy. So each side of the car has a lever here, collapses, folds up. This does not fix into a position, but there is a tether here that you can tie to the front headrest or even the handles on the side here to keep it fixed so it doesn't rattle around. Alrighty, 2 buttons on the side, electronically raise the third row. You can actually see the bottom here comes out of the ground, which is pretty cool. Alrighty, and then we use the side step. And a relatively easy and smooth process. Then we clip this in place, pull this up, let the front guys get nice and comfy. Alrighty, so for a third row guys, this is pretty handy. As you saw, we raised the rear headrest. There's actually an electronic button here to move the top half of the seat so you can get a bit more comfortable. Air conditioner vents up the top even for the third row, and USB-C ports for charging and running infotainment in here. Cup holders. This is actually not a bad place at all. I am pretty impressed with this third row, to be honest. Middle row guys, nice leather trimmed middle row. I do like the leather in this car. Alright, so 2 cup holders in the middle. We obviously have plenty in here for child seats, plenty of fixing positions. They're just Velcro up here. On top of that, we have our own control of the air conditioning in the middle row. We have our own vents here as well. And we have 2 USB-C ports in the middle here for charging and infotainment. We also have heated seats, unreal. And we have small bins in the back of the seats, big bins in the door, lots of speakers, lots of nice materials, and these nice sunshades. When you combine that with the electronic function in the roof, as well as the ability to cover it completely if you want, there is plenty in here for allowing your kids to sleep in the afternoon after a big day. Perfect for those long trips, those camping trips. They have really thought hard about that. Quite impressive guys, quite impressive indeed. For a 7-seater, I don't feel, as someone who is 181 centimeters tall, I did not feel cramped in the third row or the second, which is a rare thing for me. I usually do feel pretty cramped. So, well done Lexus. Welcome to the inside viewers of the Lexus GX 550 Sports Luxury. Let's start going through this technological beast. There is a lot to get through in here, so I'm going to do my best. We'll start with the simple things. On the right hand side, we do have 3 seat adjustment memory settings. You can also see you can adjust your lighting there for your gauge cluster and change your odometer trips, so on and so forth. Down here you can open the boot, turn off parking sensors, and this is the step control. Alrighty, so you can turn the steps off so they don't open, or have it as auto. When the doors open, it will throw them down. Cool. On the right here, you can adjust the mirrors, make them automatically fold in when you lock it, or you can force them to fold in with the button. Control all your windows, pretty straightforward. Over to the steering wheel, we have a pretty standard setup for steering wheel, cruise control, which is adaptive in this car on the right hand side, with a few infotainment settings as well. And then on the left hand side, you have your mainly infotainment set of buttons. We do have paddles here, nice small paddles, they're not too bad at all. The stalks here are actually a really nice fit and finish. We have a digital gauge cluster here, which you can have 3 different customized modes ready to go. And these ones are pre-configured at the moment. The only one I've changed is, not that one, this one. So I changed from eco to my average fuel. You can see that's about 14 liters at the moment. You can fully customize all of this when you're stationary, so you can change anything. There's G-force meters, pitch in your meters, plenty of trip info, and all sorts of funky things like that. So go nuts when you first get in this car. You start stop in the middle and your nice big infotainment screen. I love the size of this thing. I do find this really fancy and I really like it, but also it is so over the top, but I like that. So down the bottom in the center, you do have your air conditioner settings always visible. Not too bad. I do wish there were buttons instead, but by all means, these are really big buttons on the screen, guys. they have gone out of their way to make sure you can't accidentally touch them. Alrighty, so there's two center buttons that you just saw. The first one helps you just get to a quick menu, which is to do with heating and cooling in the cabin, and also to do with all your safety features here, which you can just quickly turn on and off if you need to. On the other side, it's just climate settings, nothing too crazy in there. Now in this infotainment, you can see here on the right, we do have maps as standard, and they work pretty good. I have found the torque assist, honestly, not that great, but they're not great in a lot of cars these days, so I would say it's standard, pretty standard functionality. You do have your normal radio stuff here, which I have off at the moment, standard Bluetooth into the phone. You do have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay as wireless in this model. With my phone, I did have to set it up with the USB connected first, but after that it was easy money. When we get to vehicle here, we can see there are just a million settings, right? So I won't go too crazy. Obviously off-road info is a pretty good one. We're going to want to know that we got that in this bad boy. As well as that, you can go down to settings here, and there is a whole raft of things you can change, from the illumination in the cabin, sound and media settings, navigation settings, vehicle customization. It just goes on, guys. There is so much in here that you can fiddle with, which is what you want on a car of this price level and of this quality. So pretty good. The only comment I would make on the infotainment is this seems very like an accountant did it. It's very professional and businessy, and just the right size and just the right angle, and whereas I found the gauge cluster very like engaging and graphical, this is really simplified, so it's just a bit of a contrasting difference, I guess you could say. Moving on, nice air conditioning vents. Now down here everything's tucked away nicely, but there is some nice fold away compartments. So the first one there is your cigarette lighter connection, or well, I can't remember what they call that, AC, is it AC jack these days or whatever. Anyway, you've got your USB-C here. You've got one for charging, one for connecting into your Android Auto, but it also charges, obviously. Over here you have your drive mode selector. Now there are a million drive modes in this thing. So you twist right to start going up the list, which is kind of backwards to me. But you have Eco, Comfort, Normal, Sports, and Sport Plus, and your own custom. As you can see, very interactive, very engaging. I like it. Twist left or anti-clockwise to go back through the list. Alrighty, now this does change suspension, powertrain, air conditioner, and what was the other one? Let's go have a look. Let's go have a look. Customize. Maybe it's in here. Vehicle. Custom driving mode. Here we go. Powertrain, suspension, steering, and air conditioning. You can see there the settings I had a little fiddle with for my custom drive mode. Alrighty, let's get back to it. In the middle here, you can also turn your traction control on and off. You have your tow haul button, ECT second. I'm going to look that up because right now I cannot recall what that one is. And then we have our gear selector, which does have a manual option, obviously with the paddles. You have your park assist and hill hold. You have your center locking button here, which I believe there's two diffs. I think there's two diffs in this, so it must do them both under one button maybe. Here you switch from H4 to L4, right? Your high and low range. Right now it sits default in H4. You push in and back to engage to L4. Cool. In here we have our double cup holder, which fits most things. It's unreal. You have your charging bay here. I have found that with a lot of phones it sits on an angle, as you can see from this element here. So I do find if you drive fast and it shifts up, it can stop charging until it sits back down. It's sort of very loose in here, so just be mindful of that when you're in the car. In here we have our very cool cooler box that we can turn on. Alrighty, it does have a specific warning there. Do not put meat in here and leave it. Good plan indeed. All these seats are heavily electronically adjustable, a million which ways. You do have lumbar support and everything else. We do have in the sports luxury model the Martin Levinson sound system, which has 21 speakers in total, and I can tell you, you can hear it from every part of the car. It's unreal. Alrighty, Looking at the nice leather trim here, which is ventilated because you have heated and cooled seats, and a very cool full panoramic roof at the top, which looks a bit foggy, or you might think it's foggy, but it is actually because it has a dimmer mode in the glass, which I rate very heavily. And that does flow back all the way to, let me grab it, wait, open. It will go all the way back for the rear passengers as well. How cool, guys. In the back, you can see there are shades as well in the middle row. And I think I've covered as much as I can remember off the top of my head in one go. Let's move on. I wanted to show you viewers how well the cameras work on the Lexus. They're actually unreal for the size of this car. So we're just going to attempt a 3-point turn in a tight space. Let's have a look, shall we? As you can imagine, this also comes in handy when off-roading. You can see it gives us the bollards. Helps us navigate through tight spots. You can see wheel angle, where we're heading. And then it does have an annoying thing where I can't keep it on, but that's fine. These do come on when it senses you're close with the parking sensors, guys. It does have an automatic activation. Nothing to worry about there. And there we are. Guys, how handy is that? Alrighty, and away we go. Well, there's a bit to this car, isn't there? But there is still much more to go. So let's begin. Let's keep rolling, shall we? And rolling is the key point I want to move on to next. This thing rolls because of a massive twin turbo V6 engine. Twin turbo V6 petrol power in an SUV. I mean, we all know the Ranger Raptor has something similar in it under its bonnet, but in an SUV spec, not bad at all. And that engine is specific for the Lexus. So we have oodles of power. We have a nice, interestingly deep engine note, guys. I actually thought this was a V8 when I first had my first little acceleration in it. Ready? Listen. It just sounds deeper than you expect a V6 to sound. I don't know, it's obviously the forced induction is helping with that, but it just has a really nice engine note to it. It sounds meaty and a little bit angry. But it's in this nice, plush, luxurious skin. So, what does that give in terms of a drawback? Well, we all know that's going to equate to fuel consumption. So, on my time with the car, we've averaged between 13.5 and 14 litres per 100. A little bit higher than the sticker number, but not bad really when you think about it. This is nearly 2.5 tons and it's got a lot of power and it's got twin turbos and still runs on petrol. So I would say overall pretty decent experience and a pretty decent trade-off in terms of what you get for that little bit of extra fuel consumption. Now, as we know, this is an expensive car. It's a Lexus. It means a certain element of quality when you see that badge. So I feel this cabin really lives up to that. There is no creaks, there's no weird thuds, there's no, Everything feels really well put together. But I do believe, and I haven't tested one yet, I reckon the Turtle probably feels pretty similar in terms of how good it would feel put together. On top of that, guys, we have great viewing out of this car from either side and from the front. We do have a very upward facing front windscreen, which is very truck-like, and it does feel truck-like when you're in here. You do have so much space in these front seats. Everything feels a little bit truck-like, but it doesn't handle like a truck, which is the impressive thing about it. This thing actually handles really well. So this does have adaptive suspension, guys. The dampers do adapt to the quality of the road and the elements you're driving. You also have the locking diffs, and you have the low range four-wheel drive, so you can really take this thing into some pretty decent conditions and it will handle them rather well. Now, when you add those kinds of things to a truck normally, they tend to sacrifice certain things, and one of the things that it usually sacrifices is the overall comfort in a corner. You don't want to take a corner fast in a truck that has those kinds of options on it. However, because of the adaptive suspension in this thing actually feels really good at all points of time. It feels good when you're driving relatively fast. It feels really absorbent when you're just cruising. I have taken this, it's been a really wet couple of weeks here in New South Wales, and I've taken this on some roads that obviously had potholes and uneven surfaces and gravel bits and pieces, and the most impressive thing I found was it just glided over everything. I was so impressed. And the best part of that is that's part of what I think of when I think of a Lexus. They have really made this feel like a Lexus when you drive it, and it is quite impressive that they've done that. And it's quite impressive they've still added such a powerful engine to go with that, and it's unreal. I do find there are probably a few too many drive modes, so let me just go back through what we got. Eco, Comfort, Normal, Sports, Sports Plus, and Custom. So many, guys. I gotta be honest, I have enjoyed Eco mode probably the most for your normal driving, and obviously if you want to drive a bit harder, you're gonna go up to Sports Plus, aren't you? So they're the two I've mainly spent time in. I have tried the others. They do adjust different things, and then your custom mode allows you to put them all together into what you like. Unreal, guys. I do rate it. It just takes a bit of getting used to, and there's a lot to learn within that. I do like that we do have paddles on this model because there is a 10-speed gearbox. This car feels very much like, first and foremost, I will say this, the car feels right for the badge. Sports, luxury, and Lexus in the name. It feels like all things that. I feel like it ticks so many boxes for an SUV out of the gate. I mean, you have the side steps that fold down, you have great infotainment, you have great four-wheel drive technology straight out of the gate. It really is a package that is, I feel, competitive, and I feel relatively well priced, to be totally honest. So I spec'd one up today in this lovely green that I've got here, but I did option the brown seats because I feel like that's a combo you just have to do. And it came away at $140,900 and I think $80 something drive away. And I got to be honest, for that money, I was quite impressed. When you think about, let's look at competitors, a Range Rover, $200,000, $300,000. You go your Land Cruisers with the big V8s or your Nissan Patrols. I've sat in those. I personally think this is actually much nicer in terms of appointment in here. I feel like this feels a bit more luxurious in here. And so for me, I feel like the price is a really good representation of the package, and I don't feel shocked in a sense. I feel like it is worth that kind of money. On top of that, guys, in terms of things that I don't like, this car impressed me so much that, to be honest, nothing in here is something that I genuinely don't like. The only thing that I will make a comment on is the digital revision mirror. I think it's great, and when you have the 3 rows up, you need it. but I would have liked the ability to turn it off, and I've had a little go at trying to turn it off, but I haven't found the setting, if there is one, because when you just have the 2 rows up, I do feel like I'd like to just see a real picture, a real mirror in a sense. And the main reason for that is I have found that it can sometimes, the quality's not bad, and it's actually not bad at night either, to be totally honest, but I've found that just some of the reflections and things in an actual camera mode really can distract you in a sense. So a simple example for me is when you're in like a busy set of streets, say you got a dual lane road either way, you get a lot of reflection in it from the brake lights as well as the xenon headlights in road cars, and the xenon headlights really show blue in the camera, so you get this red and blue sense coming out of when you glance at it, and you're like, oh, is there emergency services coming, things like that. And so you just always find yourself sort of a little bit you check it more than you really probably would normally, because it just has this slight difference to it. Whereas it'd be nice that if you don't have much going on in the back, that you could just have the mirror. But honestly, guys, like, what a nitpicky thing to talk about, and that is literally the only thing that I've found to talk about in terms of a slightly negative sense with this car. Everything else is just so well done. It is so well done. Everything's easy to get to. Ergonomically, you feel great in these front 2 seats. They are comfy, easy to reach everything. You feel like you're in something pretty special. You have a great engine note, and to be honest, guys, this thing picks up. It is rapid. It is really surprisingly rapid. There's that nice engine note. We put it in Sports Plus mode. It's now slightly stiffer. It actually doesn't body roll that badly now. And honestly, you can really, like, you can feel it kicks you, this car. It kicks you, and it's an SUV. It just sends it. And it is impressive, guys. It is really impressive. Not just for the fact that it can do that, but for the fact that you can go back to eco mode and go and rock climb wherever you like. It feels like it could do that, and it just absorbs the bumps so well. It is truly a special package, guys. It is well done. Well done, Lexus. Well done, Lexus and Toyota, I should say. But well done, Lexus. I would happily take one in this khaki metal, they call it, this color. I would happily take one with khaki metal and the dark brown interior. I forgot the name of the dark brown interior. It did have a special Lexus name. One other annoying thing, guys, if you're buying this car, get a lather, because washing up here, good luck. I'd like to take this time to thank Exhaust Notes and to thank Lexus for allowing me to test drive this bad boy this week. This car is truly a great buy, people. That's all I can say about it. If you are in the market, if you are looking, if you like the looks of this a little bit more than the Prado brother or sister, then I highly recommend you go test it, because I cannot see you being disappointed. I would be genuinely surprised if you are disappointed after a drive of this thing. Tell me in the comments if you were, and tell me why. Alright guys, well, I'm going to go and see if I can find anything that's not too flooded, and we'll try and have some off-road fun. But if not, I'll see you on the next one.